My name is Elena Dyer and I'm the Chief Operations Officer at Futech Services Limited. Futech Services is the English-speaking Caribbean's only SAP education delivery partner, and SAP is the world's largest business software developer. So basically, if you are trying to get training in any of the modules provided by SAP, you must come to Futech Services. I went to school in the US and I came back and I got involved in an insurance company down here who were implementing SAP for the first time. I got my training through that company, and then afterwards I left that company and went on to a consulting firm based in Miami. I got fully certified in business warehousing and strategic enterprise management, and then I was placed in a few clients in Barbados for 2.5 years. I looked around and I realized that for me to become fully trained, I had to have gone to the US or London. And all of the consultants, my fellow colleagues, were non-English speaking persons. So I saw that there was in fact a need for fully certified persons in the English-speaking Caribbean, and that's basically how Futech was born. The main challenge, I would think, was being the first. I had a entrepreneur 101 class at university, and the professor said, you never want to be the first, because you have to break down so many barriers. And I realized sensitizing the local skill bank to embrace local, that was really actually my biggest obstacle. We're so accustomed going to the US or using training as a vacation. It's really in some cases it is a benefit. So you would give your employees basically 3 days that you go to the US, you go to Atlanta and you get trained, but yet you're out of Trinidad for 3 days. So we had to really get employees to embrace that fact that we do have qualified persons right here. Even if we have to bring folks in, it is still local. And that was really the main obstacle that I had to deal with. A lot of people look at me and think that I would say being female or having dreadlocks. Really and truly, at the end of the day, Futech stands on its own. The work that we do stands on its own. I'm just the face of. I have a very strong team backing and supporting. We have SAP at the core. We use the models being used across the world. So at the end of the day, we're not recreating the wheel. We're just tweaking it a little for our special cultural needs. When I go into meetings, I know for a fact that after liaising with you by email and phone conversations, and I go to a country and they were expecting a 40-something-year-old, I see that they're somewhat surprised, but again, at the end of the day, the brand stands on its own. My youth, or apparent youth, feeds the passion that I have. I truly believe in legacy, developing something that you can call your own, and this is what Futech is basically for me and my family and my future family, and that's the main driving force behind it. So being female, being young, having dreadlocks at this point in time in my life really actually is not real tangible obstacles. I would say do not even think about opening an education delivery partner. That is my territory. No. I would say passion honestly drives. Being truly passionate about your dream, being realistic about your dream, doing the research. Do not expect to be on top of the game as soon as you get in. Familiarize yourself with the environment, be able to be up for late hours. You have to put in the work. You can't just be idealistic. and expect it to be a bed of roses at first. Otherwise, you'd last maybe 6 months. At the end of the day, it's really about your drive. If you want to drive and force behind it, you need to have people there who aren't just yes men. We need to have properly researched the market that you're going into. Because I've realized in your head, everything sounds fine. Like, this is the best idea, of course it must work. But then when you throw the idea out to someone looking on the outside, they will bring different things to the forefront. Started off solely as education delivery, and now we've partnered up and touching into licenses or touching into reselling or just different avenues. So at first, this was my model. In my head, we would be the trade hub for the Caribbean. But now, after a couple of years, I realized that diversifying your portfolio is really important. Even if it's not just for revenue generation, expanding your brand is what is going to get you through recessions and get you through downtimes. Because in my markets, you see that training is usually the one that feels it the most when there's a hard time. A company, they will look at the HR and then say, okay, they'll prioritize. So what can we cut? Any extra fat? And it's usually training. So you have to apply that to your model, to your market. My proudest achievement, I have a lot, because I see every milestone that I can actually check off as being my proudest moment. Again, when you're so into your dream, and I call Futech my baby, like every little thing is a huge achievement. I would say as of now, it would probably be my first academy that I did a few years. Well, when we just started, we had a full class of 20-something persons. It went off a few hiccups, but at the end of the day, I was somewhat emotional, because it actually, after a couple of years of planning, it actually materialized into something tangible. And having 90-something% of the persons fully certified after the exam, that was huge for me. But again, everything is, I see everything as an achievement.